Hello, everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk, the next Nigerian president. I'm your host today, and with me is Gidado. Gidado, what's happening?
I'm chilling, bro. How are you?
I'm good. So, yeah, today we're talking about something very interesting. Today's topic is Wike and the PDP brouhaha.
And we're also going to talk about Amanpo and the president.
That's not the headlining topic, but our headline topic is we'll get there. Me and Gidado actually started having that conversation when we got to the studio, and we're like, okay, let's bring it to air. Let's hear what these people have to say about it.
Misha, I don't fear anything. I don't fear anything.
So yes, there's a week at the PDP brouhaha. So I think for a lot of people, they've seen a lot of live band and a lot of performance, back and forth, but they don't really understand the details of what is going on. So I'll say what is happening. Wike is the governor of Rivers State. He contested among the aspirants to be the PDP's official flag bearer in 2023 elections, and he came second behind Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. At the PDP convention, there was a twist where the governor of Sokoto State, Tambuwa, you're supposed to have one slot to talk. After his slot to talk, the party gave him an opportunity to talk again, where he addressed his supporters and told them to endorse Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. And since then, that has caused a stir in the PDP where Wike, the governor of Rivers State, has been making a lot of public jabs at the party and the party's presidential candidates and other elder statesmen in the party. So that is a summary of what has been going on. In this conversation, we'll go into the details and also try to hear your views on what is happening. So Gidado, let me say the first question is, do you think what Wike is doing is justified? Let's start from there.
There's one thing we have to understand. Wike has grown to the ladders of politics where he is today. And at a time when the PDP as a party did not have people standing by it, he was one of the people who held the structures of the party. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Though some people think it's not right that he keeps wanting someone to fall anytime he makes a cry. But it's also, let's look at the issues at which he's calling for. Do you understand? For instance, he's been saying Iyorchia Ayu must resign because he believes that the party presidential candidate coming from the north, Mr. Iyorchia Ayu, a former Senate president, also coming from the north, that's Benue specifically is. Firstly, is Benue in the north? If not for statistics, I think
our political structure puts Benue in the north. That's not central, but. Are Benue State people, do they imbibe the culture of the typical north? If I say that, I don't exactly think so.
I think they identify as middle belt.
Yeah, I know that was. I think the creation of middle belt would have decentralized that conversation a bit, but we're not there. But as you said, Wike he's aggrieved and he has made this very public that a lot of people who did not stand by the party are currently in the party. And they are trying to make the party a one-sided party. And if you look at the logic of it, it makes sense because Nigeria is a very big society of 200 million people. And if you are contesting for power to represent these people, you must be very represented. Wike in his argument is saying that the PDP as a party has presented a northerner as the flag bearer, and a northerner as the party chairman. So when decisions are being made, who speaks in the interest of the southerners? This is a very valid claim, and let me say I like what he's doing because to an extent he's putting the party to check. But also, when is it time for the man Wike to calm down? Should I say calm down or to, as you say, party is supreme? When is the time for him to say the party is supreme? Do you think it's a fight worth fighting, or what do you think about it?
I think the build-up to 2020 elections really count a lot because everybody will be fighting for political relevance and attention. I think strongly what the southern caucus of the PDP, that's the Sheyi Makinde.
But they have some northerners in the caucus, like Professor Jerry Ghana.
Professor Jerry Ghana, even the governor of Benue State. Samuel Otom is also from the north and is part of the weakest caucus. I think it's just them trying to say, okay, yes, we're trying to make a statement for our region.
For our region, yes.
Do you understand? The build-up to the elections, there was a lot of issue concerning the ticket going to the south. So he went in the north. So I think for the interest of justice, but the PDP BOT chairman has resigned, in fairness to the PDP.
But the BOT chairman is an advisory role. He's not really in the party structure. The BOT is more of a ceremony. It's like an advisor. So
like
him resigning, is a head our chairman. So him resigning, does it really? I think so. For me, I think the issues here is that Nyesom Wike, as a political strategist, that he planned out his strategy very well. He saw that the 2023 elections were coming, and he knew he had an interest there. So he fought very well. He fought his own brother, Secondus, that he brought in as party chairman. He fought Secondus till Secondus left.
He took the 2019 primary elections to Port
Harcourt. He fought Secondus, so Secondus could go. So when the zoning comes to the south, there's no argument that the party chairman is from the south. How does it? He did all of that calculation, and he was part of the people that fought very hard to bring Ayu in. So him losing, a lot of people see it as, he's a sore loser, so he's fighting. But there's logic behind it. And he also, his media briefing that he did with Channels TV last night, he also addressed that he felt very betrayed by what Tambuwa did. But as he said, he's not a child, he's an adult, that even your children can betray you, but you have to move on. That he has moved on, but in the sake of fairness and Nigerianness, it should work. And for me, I'm taking this conversation to a different angle, because when you go to the APC, you see.
I think it's even necessary that we narrow the conversation down to how the PDP crisis is going to affect the presidential elections.
Exactly.
And formation of the next set of government. What is it going to be like? Because for a recent years, we can come and say the PDP party chairman, Iocha, is struggling to become the SGF moving forward in the elections. This is what to tell you that what to expect from the next set of people.
And especially when the candidate is priding himself as the unifier, I think this is a very big blow on the party and the party's presidential candidate. That has, if you claim to be the unifier, you should be able to unify your party and also make things happen. But also in his side, in their Alhaji Atiku campaign, they are saying Atiku is a Democrat and he doesn't want to impose anything. So the party has a constitution, it has a convention, and they will go by it. Now, you said something very important, that let's narrow it down to the chances of the PDP. So what do you think are because without a Wike factor, and Wike is coming along with about 4 to 5 governors. He has Abia State governor, he has Otom, he has Shea Makinde, who is very strong in Southwest, he has himself as well. With that caucus not supporting the PDP, do you think they really stand the chance in
I think the first problem is that Nigeria is more likely to be a two-party system. The reality of things. That's the PDP and the APC. Do you understand? These are the two parties that have like political structures in making decisions.
But if 4 governors leave to a third force, that third force becomes a national conversation. And
it becomes a national conversation. But for a country like Nigeria, where we have understand the logic around voting, I think we need to understand that it's the second force that is always fighting the first force. Because, for instance, let's look at the auto game movement in Kwara. Do you understand? This was the one that brought Saraki out. Do you understand? So I think this is the reality of things. If there's a third force, then we know that the ruling party is coming back. Because I think the war of PDP and APC, the war of PDP and LP are more likely to be PDPs. Do you understand? Peter Obi is a PDP man.
He's no longer a PDP man.
Yeah, but the structure is moving with is for PDP. Do you understand? He was the vice president of PDP. People who have known him and they have grown their interest for him grew from PDP.
Not really. And that's because most of his support base comes from young people. They are new voters. So those are not typical PDP supporters. They are people that lacked interest in, let's say, the Nigerian political system, and they now decided to see this person as a new face. I think before we I don't think you will say the LP candidate is leveraging on the PDP structure. I think that's very incorrect.
No. I think for me, right, where is it coming from?
It's coming from PDP, before he's not leveraging on their structure.
I think before we establish a fact that young people will go out and vote.
We're not talking of votes. We're not talking of votes. We're talking of his support base right now.
We're talking about structure.
Yes.
And where is the structure coming from?
It's because, as I've said, I don't know if this was in the last episode, but I said that Peter Obi, for me, his structure is the middle class Nigerians across the country. I wouldn't restrict it to a region. I think Peter Obi, the LP candidate.
So who's his vote affected?
That's what I'll get there.
No, but who is Peter Obi's?
I'll get there.
Who is Peter Obi's running election? Who is it going to cause a lot of?
I'll get there.
No, you can't get there. I want to give you an answer.
I can't give you an answer
because
life is not always black and white. There are gray areas.
No, there's no in between the conversation of politics.
So now let me tell you, I think the Labour Party and Peter Obi, his structure is basically the middle class because he's a from what I've seen, Peter Obi is the middle class champion. If I say that, those are people that have. The middle class, basically, they're the normal Nigerians that can see potentials that are not being utilized, and I've seen that, this person can make my... Do you understand? That's where he comes from, across the country. It's not... You will not really say he's a... Because we've seen the support. His supporters have done mass marches across the country, and we've seen his support base. Those are the...
And we saw the 2 million in Kaduna.
Yeah,
and then Wike came out to praise them for it.
Yeah, so, but we've seen Taraba, we've seen Plateau, do you understand? We saw Benue. Like, he has been able to mobilize a lot of young people, new voters. You could see the great spike in new voters registration. So I will not typically say Peter Obi's support base is leveraging on PDP structure. Do you understand?
No, I'm saying Peter Obi's supporters base will affect the PDP structure.
It will affect both parties because there are people that have supported every party. Even like article structure will affect every party. The Asiwaju Bola Ahmed's structure will affect every party.
But if Peter Obi was with anybody in this running elections, who would they have been with?
He was in PDP.
This is what I'm telling you. So this is where I'm taking you back to. I'm telling you that Peter Obi's election will affect Atiku Abubakar's election.
It will affect everybody.
Do you understand? Election. So if we're talking about Peter Obi running and it's affecting him, and we're also coming to see Alhaji Atiku Abubakar also coming to run under the same PDP structure, and Wike and all of them are threatening to pull out. Even though, interestingly enough, Wike came out to say he would never leave PDP. For no reason should I see somebody like Wike leaving PDP structure, because Wike is the formation of the PDP. He has for so long funded this party, at the point when the party was half dead. Do you understand? He has spoken so well, and do you understand? He's not somebody who's known to be meandering. It's like the likes of them Sule Lamido, who's seen to be static with what he wants.
Apparently he's a very principled man. His views have remained consistent to an extent, so you can see that there's that. But there was also something I wanted to bring up, that at the build up to the 2015 election, what Governor Wike and his caucus are doing is not something that is very new. The Atiku, Saraki caucus, Tambuwa caucus did the same thing to President Jonathan, the NPDP. I can remember clearly when the NPDP frustrated the then PDP and they now finally moved to APC. And that's one of the things that secured APC's victory. So that's why when you brought the conversation of a third force, you might never know if...
No, but the third force has to merge with the second force.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that there are aggrieved people in the People's Democratic Party. In APC today, we can see the Dogara and the Bawacha Lawa faction, the Northern Christians in the APC. There is also an agitation there that they feel like the Christian Northerners in APC have been marginalized. So when we are talking politics, those are interests that can align eventually. And there's unlike before, where there has never been a third force for them to move, a valid third force for them to move to. Now there is. That opportunity has been created. Do you understand? Whether you see it from the Labour Party angle or the NNPP angle, there's a credible thought force. I don't know why you smiled when you heard NNPP.
No, I'm just smiling because I know Kwakwasiya movement is heavy. Do you know, I think first thing Kwakwasiya is even doing that is even impressive is that he's going to launch offices in every part of the country. I want to see Peter Obi do that. Yes. Do you understand?
So I think another thing I've noticed,
because if you have an office, you have a structure.
Another thing I've noticed in the Peter Obi campaign is that I think it's a great campaign, but I've not really seen that handshake across the Niger. You know what I mean? That where is the strong alliance across the North? Yeah. So that's why it's still being positioned as a regional party. As much as that's it. Baba Ahmed, credible young man, and at his age, under 50, he has 2 universities.
He's my pro-chancellor, sir.
Do you understand? He's actually, politically, how much weight is he pulling?
Yeah.
You understand? There should be more of that. I think that's a conversation for another day.
I think he got 3 votes in the PDP primaries in Kaduna, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know that.
No problem. Yeah. Okay, so I schooled in Days University, actually, which is owned by Dati Ahmed, a world-class university, very good, a fantastic man who has high taste for everything. But I think someone like Dati should run with a proper grassroots politician.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like a proper grassroots politician. I think someone like that should be seen with someone like Wankosu.
No, but you know the thing about the LP and the Peter Obi movement is this is a new formative structure. They are trying to prove to Nigerians that we're not playing politics like before, and Dati has a track record of that. I remember when he was supposed to, he didn't contest the Senate seat just because he had an ongoing investigation. It was like his name has to be cleared before he contested. Yeah. That's somebody that has shown clear principles. Yeah. I was speaking.
It's actually very principled.
I was speaking to somebody that worked in the FCTA administration, a very senior person, and he was saying that when they opened Abuja newly, a lot of people came to collect lands from the government for universities because there was a form of subsidy. That, okay, if you are doing like social amenities, the government was just giving. He said one of the few people that actually collected land for universities, and 2 years later before he resigned, the man called him and said, the land you people approved for university, I'm doing a launching, come for it. That was Dati Baba Ahmed. He actually said that. So aside so I think their measure is a measure of principle, ideology, and that's actually what politics is supposed to be. Because let's be able to say this is what we stand for, regardless of what it is.
I think first Nigerians want to listen to them at this point in time is that let them talk about security. You understand? Like, we understand that there are two wise business administrators who have done so well in driving businesses, but this country at this point in time, we're looking far from that. Like, people have to be safe before we make other economic decisions. Because if you are not even safe, the first emotional stress that is even in your mind alone will firstly weaken you down. So I think it's necessary for us to encourage them. Let them speak. Like, how was then we're moving to Amanpo, isn't it? Yeah. So we'll take Amanpo from Peter Obi. Peter Obi had an interview with CNN.
He did.
Yeah. So how was Peter Obi's interview with CNN?
First of all, I think Peter Obi has had greater outings than that. For me, I think it was a good outing, averagely. But I think we have gotten to the point where we are holding our presidential candidates on different pedestals. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? That what is acceptable for one person is not acceptable for one person. This is somebody that has taught the country, granted media interviews, and we're interrogating. But we have other candidates that have not appeared in front of the media. And nobody is asking them. So I think, first of all, his Amanpo interview, I think it was good, but it was not what we expected. It's a big platform. There were better, precise points to have been made. Composure should have been better. A lot of other things would have been put in place. But that's fine. We have criticized it because he has put himself out to be the president of Nigeria. So we should be able to comment on that because he put himself in that place. But I'm also saying that this is also to the general public that even not on this issue, I like the fact that we're asking questions, but I think it is a little lopsided because at this point where we see people that are not even granting features, we don't even know their plans, we're not hearing from them. Most of what we're seeing is throwback videos or people talking on their behalf. I think.
What are you talking about? Are you talking about City Boy? I don't understand.
I'm making my point.
I don't understand.
I'm making my point, but if the shoe fits, do you understand? But I think, but the campaigns have not officially started. That's another perspective to it. We might never know what City Boy has in store for us. So maybe he's waiting for that. Maybe that's what his team is preparing for. Good luck to them.
So another conversation that has almost made us tear ourselves, even as we're coming here between me and Bob, is that Christian Amanpo was willing to have an interview with the president of Iran, and the president said he was not going to jump on the interview only if she's going to wear a headscarf. I strongly believe, as the president from the Middle East, a region that is which is strictly known as an Islamic country, he might not have a problem having an interview with her, but I understand public perception. He might be thinking about the other angle of the people from Iran. How do you see him appearing? This is a very critical time where people are holding social issues at the topmost. So I'm just saying, because Christian Amanpo is someone who grew up in Iran. Do you understand? And she wears scarf in Iran. She dresses with the headscarf in Iran. She says even herself, she says she's interviewed all the presidents, but she didn't use headscarf if they're outside or if they're in New York, outside of the Iran space. But I understand that him coming to say this now is trying to spotlight the issue that, what do you think about the headscarf?
No, I'll just get your points before.
No,
I will say what I think. I will say it very proudly and clearly. So,
no, I think.
What do you think?
No, I think it's not a big deal. I think that's not the main crux of the conversation. Though there's a social conversation that I heard.
No. I want to
that there's a social.
So what did I know he tries to do here? He's trying to avoid being dragged. Well, I'll hit the nail on the head. So first of all, I think what she did was I stand with her with what she did in the sense that we're in the United States of America. That's the free world, basically. Yeah, I have my beliefs, you have your beliefs. I respect your beliefs. You do what you want to do. You should respect my beliefs. I should do what I want to do. In the case where my beliefs don't affect you or don't hurt you, I think my beliefs should be respected. In the case where your beliefs don't affect me or hurt me, I think your beliefs should be respected. So at the point where somebody comes and says, you have to do something in line with my beliefs, for me, that is it's a violation on her fundamental human rights. Because and in this point where there's currently a protest in Iran, women currently in Iran, as at the point where this interview was scheduled, are burning their hijabs and protesting about the morality police in Iran that is taking away their rights and their freedom because they've killed over 8 people by the morality police. So for her, I strongly stand with her because she's making a statement on human rights and she's standing strongly with the women in Iran because this interview was on American soil and she has interviewed other Iranian presidents and they didn't make her do that. So for me, I think the president was probably just trying to maybe dodge strategic questions that he knew were going to be put to him by her. So if that was his way out, it was a smart one, but I don't think she has any fault on this.
For me, I think the main crux of the conversation is for her to have him on her show to speak about issues.
No, so tomorrow if somebody comes and say my belief is for you to remove your slippers to talk to me, she has set a precedence because somebody came today and said you must cover your head to talk to me.
But I'm coming for
so tomorrow if I come to tell you that okay, Gidado, remove your shoe before you talk to me, you respected Mr. A's belief, respect my own belief. Okay. Tomorrow another person comes to say you must open your shirts to talk to me. So when you are looking at human rights and issues like this, you don't put it in one perspective. You look at it holistically. That what is the precedence this is setting? So everybody has their different beliefs. You get me?
Yeah. So perfectly. I get you. First off, I would like to give you a counter statement that she didn't say she was not jumping on that she wouldn't wear the headscarf. Like she didn't say she was not wearing the headscarf in support of women in Iran.
No, that's her action. She didn't have to say that.
No. I think on that level, when you speak, you have to speak with facts. Like you have to align it, like say it, like do you understand? Because you're already on the spotlight for big issue. Yeah. So if you want to come out and say, oh, I'm aligning with certain people by not wearing headscarf, then that's fine. Then secondly, she's been in Iran and she's spotted wearing headscarves too many times. So it's not like it's against her rule not to wear headscarf.
It's the fact
do you understand? Like it's not against her principle.
The issue here is you should not make me do what is favorable. Do you understand? It is not. It is your. You cannot. That's what fundamental human rights are.
I feel for me, her fundamental. It would have been so much if, for instance, now she doesn't wear headscarf.
No,
but she does wear headscarf.
So even if I,
you understand, she does wear headscarf, and she in her comment on the interview, she didn't say it was in support.
So okay, so if I eat red meat every day and today I say I don't want to eat red meat, you can't tell me because I've eaten red meat in the past I must eat red meat.
What was the purpose?
I'm coming.
What was the purpose? What was like? The whole idea of the interview is to achieve what?
Yeah, the whole point, the point of the interview was to interview him, get his views and all of that. But in a case where women, particularly, are being molested in this country...
Bob is bringing this gender argument.
No, that's the issue. No,
the gender argument is
it's not about gender argument. This is the issue. This is the case where in this country today, women are protesting because they feel like they are not let to live their lives. They are not... They understand their fundamental human rights are being abused. And what those women are protesting is playing out in the face of the world. Do you understand? That's the case here. It's not about, like, she would have as well just gone today, but that's her succumbing to what
she doesn't want.
She doesn't want to. As you said, she has one. A headscarf is nothing, but you should not give me. You should not.
Your terms.
Yes, you shouldn't work.
No, I think. Yeah, I'm a journalist, and I strongly believe that journalists should be respected. I strongly believe.
Do you really believe that?
Yes, no. I think journalists should be strongly respected. Media boss is a media boss. So I think we've come to the end of the show today.
Yeah. So conclusion, I'd just like to say lastly, I think on the two sides, on the Nyesom Wike and PDP brouhaha, as we call it, Governor Nyesom Wike is in all his rights to do what he's doing. He's fighting for the interest of his people and his region, as he's putting it. If people think he has selfish undertones, that's fine. But is there a common good? I see something there. Representation of the South is very important to lead a nation like Nigeria. PDP on his own side, I think the PDP as a party has gone against this convention, especially by setting the presidential candidates for this election. And for the case of fairness, and the PDP's presidential candidate, as I say, he's the unifier. So I think these are issues that should not get this far. If PDP as a party is looking at taking power from APC that is currently in power, or Labour Party that is fighting hard, or NNPP that is also trying to come hard, they have to put their house in order, sit down, hold a round table, and get things done. With what is going on, obviously you can say that the PDP is not ready. I don't know if you have a concluding statement.
Finally, I think political parties are not just institutions for voting elections. I strongly believe that political parties are training ground for young politicians. Some of us want to join politics.
Yeah, I should take leadership courses, not
I think some of us, because in our government class, they say political party trains young people on becoming.
Yeah,
do you understand? Do you understand? We see the Republicans, we see liberals, we see the socialists. People identify political parties based on their values and ideologies. But do you understand? But now we're now seeing political parties dragging themselves here. Do you understand? So, and Nigerians don't have respect for political parties. We just wake up today, there's senators who jump from 3 different parties in one seat, in one National Assembly.
Example of Shekarau, in 3 months he has been in APC, NNPP, now back to PDP.
I think it is wrong I think our leaders must know that we, the younger generations, are looking at them closely, and we strongly believe that they're supposed to mentor us, train us on how to hold this country and make the country better rather than jumping ups and down. We come to the end of this episode of Let's Talk Nigeria's Next President, hosted by Ali Bob and Gidado Shoaib on the floor of Profile Media. We would like to thank all of our viewers and listeners who have been joining us on Instagram and YouTube. We're urging you all to continue to share, like, and promote this initiative that intends to spotlight what we want from the next president as young people, and we'll continue to do that consistently, holding government accountable and promoting justice and fairness for all.